Alright guys, welcome to the next topic, understanding time, which is very important. In this we deal with a subtopic called finding the 25th hour. So, does 25th hour really exist? It doesn't. But this is metaphorical, which means the person who can find 25th hour is someone who has a lot of time, who can find free time in his or her schedule. And this is possible. This is possible if you implemented everything so far that we have discussed. And if you're going to implement the other two last things of this course, you will be super free. Now, before we continue on this topic, I want you to note down a couple of points on your notepad that you have there. I hope you've already written 80-20 principle. And the next one is minimizing your computer. And the next one after that, minimizing your phone. Please write it down and make them into mirror pages, print them big and post it everywhere that you wish, including your workstation, your car, and in front of your bed. Most importantly, in front of your bed, right? So, in finding the 25th hour, I'm going to read out from the screen something called Parkinson's law. Now, he was a very wise man who has offered us a principle like the Pareto principle. It's called Parkinson's law. It says expanding work so as to fill the time available for its completion. This is the biggest virus that has inflicted human beings that makes them really unproductive. If we are people who are coming up with so many excuses on a daily basis, this is the virus we're inflicted with. If you get over this virus, you get over about 75% of your problems in life. Trust me, this is magical. It's a little difficult to implement this, but then if you did start this, very soon you will achieve magical results. So, how does Parkinson's law work in our life? For example, if you have to pay a bill, if you have an appointment, if you have to write down something in a page full of an article or something like that, a report or something, and if you have 2 days of time for that, then subconsciously you will start thinking, oh, I have time, I can go with it, we'll see. Quite the way it works at exams for many students, 99% of the students, until exams are approaching, they are not seriously studying anything. That's a very big problem that we have. Just like that, if we don't have deadlines given to us by our superiors or by the company or by the project, we are not going to really sit down and work seriously on that. That's a big problem. Now you have to change this problem. Whenever you have a task at hand, remember Parkinson's law. Because we have reasons, expanding work so as to fill the time available for its completion. Who is giving time for its completion? If you are the person who gives time to yourself for its completion, then you're in control and you will have success coming and kissing your feet all the time. But most of the times it doesn't work that way. Someone else has to give you a deadline. Someone else has to give you a time limit, a time span for its completion, which is what is bad. So remember Parkinson's law. You might as well note it down on your notepad. Parkinson's law. If you have a little bit of time, if you want to pay a bill, just go and get it done right then and there. If there is an article that you have to write, if there is a report that you have to prepare, and you're thinking, oh, I'm not in a mood, or probably I'll get this done and then I'll go for it, and then we'll see, we'll go for a walk and then coffee and all that. Please don't postpone that. That is the biggest virus, I'm telling you. What you can do is take this laptop or take the notepad or whatever that you need to work on, go to the coffee shop, go somewhere and start it. And always cut off 30% of the deadline as it is. This will make a genius. This will get the genius out of you. Trust me, when I was writing articles for a national daily, Initially, I was asked to give them an article in 600 words. I had never written articles like that in my entire life. And I was really confused. And I was like, come on, you have to give enough space for the complete expression of a person. And then I wrote like 800, 900, 1,000 words. And after 2 or 3 days when it was printed, when I saw that, it was really heartbreaking because they had mercilessly cut off the 30 or 40% that was extra in there. And that taught me a lesson. How? Because there was a deadline. I could not do anything about it. I had to sit down and somehow crystallize my thoughts and narrow them down into 600 words, wherein I expressed myself to the point, to the complete expression that I had in my mind, which made me a better person. If I got angry with the editing team that they cut off the stuff that I had given them, I wouldn't become a better person. Now I know how I can express my thoughts in as short form as possible and completely effectively. This is what it's about. So, Parkinson's law, please don't forget this. Anytime you have any task, it does not matter. It could be just as silly as going and paying a bill, or it could be finishing your project, or it could be making a whole Word document or PowerPoint presentation, whatever it is. If the time is given to you like 1 week, make it 70%, like 4 or 5 days. Say 4 days, I'm gonna get it done. See that. Just get it done, and then you'll have so much of free time, and then you can refine on it, and you can be the best in your entire team or entire company. This is just gonna make you a better person. Parkinson's law is a magic. Work on it. Alright, let's get over to the topic planning like a pro. So far we discussed organizing like a pro, and now we'll discuss planning like a pro, which is a very quick thing. Because if you're really organized in all the ways that I have mentioned so far, it will be very easy for you to plan like a pro without a sweat. All you have to do for planning like a professional is just do 3 things. Please, once again, I want to remind you not to use too many gadgets. You might have iPad, iPhone, and cloud technology, and notepads, and online tools, and these apps, that apps. Please don't tear yourself into parts. Keep it simple and short. Just use notepad and sticky notes and the tool that I'm going to show you later. But right here, when you're using a notepad, you need to divide your work, your entire day, into 3 parts. That is mainstream, essential bits, and recreation. Now, what is mainstream? Mainstream is the mainstream work that you do, like your project work, your company work, or if you're a marketing professional, your marketing work. If you're an editing professional, your editing work. Anything. Basically, it's your mainstream, your absolute, organizational work that you do. And usually, if you are a 9-to-5 person, most offices and most clients are active after 10:30 until 12:30 or 1 o'clock. And then usually, people get into lunch mode break, or people start switching off their things or getting off their desks from 1 to 2 or 2:30. So you got to plan your day like that. There are peak hours, as I call it, and there are non-peak hours. Keep your peak hours for your mainstream work, that your project work or your corporation work or your office work, and keep your non-peak hours, that is this lunch break or office starting hours, or towards the end after 4 or 4:30 in the evening. This is non-peak hour. In that time, keep them for essential bits. Essential bits is basically catching up with someone at work for some news or some information that you need, or some preparation that you have to do, collecting documents or printing, or these small errands that you have to run, and small things that you have to catch up, or reorganizing or planning and sitting and or attending a meeting and stuff like that. All this, or sending emails, all that is basically work oriented. Keep them for essential bits, and every evening is your recreation time. Now, my friends, I would like to clarify one thing here. A lot of people take recreation for fun. It is not so. I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun. Definitely fun is part of your recreation. But if you look into the word, it is recreation, which means you're still spending your time in a very constructive and positive manner, wherein you create something. It's recreating, right? Fun has to be a part of it, but fun is not the entire thing. Recreation does not mean just sit on a couch and watch TV or watch movies and just drink some alcohol and drink coffee and waste your time and energy. That's not recreation. So, this is how I use my week for recreation, which includes fitness, which includes learning a language or musical instrument, whatever, a bit of family time, swimming, and probably going with the family or going alone, whatever, as per your comforts, and movie, etc. This is how it looks. Take a good look, and you can use your time in the evenings for exactly this thing. The next point I want you to remember is that I'm going to show you my schedule, exactly how I schedule my day from morning until evening. You can schedule your day like that. But don't worry, I don't follow that exactly point to point or minute to minute. I'm not a freak. It is just to give us some idea of how the day should be. Sometimes I miss something, sometimes I go with, but then all in all it makes me feel extraordinarily productive, and that's why I have my schedule. But before that I show you that schedule, I would like to talk to you about this thing called the sleep syndrome, which is a big problem among so many of us, including students and professionals. The sleep syndrome and renewal of energy. I want you to write down on your notepad, renewal of energy. You don't have to write sleep syndrome. It's easy. Now, what is sleep syndrome? Sleep syndrome is people talk about sleeping. Some people want to sleep 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours and still say, I'm not done with my sleep. I love my sleep. Everybody loves their sleep, in fact. I, for one, used to sleep for 9.5 hours every single day. And on weekends, 15, 16, 17 hours. I just loved sleep. Who doesn't like it? But I want you to know something about this, my friends. This is not the topic which is of the main focus here, but then this is an added thing that you really need to know. If you want to know more about it, you can check out our next video that's coming up on fitness, sleep, diet, everything. The thing about sleep is that our body really requires 6 hours of sleep only. That's all. Within which body completely relaxes, rejuvenates, and gets ready for the next bit of action. And during the day, all you need is one piece of power nap, which is 10 to 15 minutes. You can practice it. It takes 3-4 days to practice. 5th day you are doing it like a baby. You can just sit on a chair or somewhere you can find just 10 minutes of a power nap, which is going into the sleep, switching off and switching on, and that's it. This is a magical trick. You can learn it, you can use it to your advantage. If you cannot use it, if you're in a profession where you cannot get to have a nap, then you can sleep a bit more. But that doesn't really help. 6 hours is 6 hours. Sleeping a bit more makes your body feel like waste, and your body really doesn't get enough energy. Also, it's just a small article on Google. Just 2 pages. Read about it, and you will get to know everything. Sleep actually happens in cycles of 20 minutes and 40 minutes and then 60 minutes and then 90 minutes. It goes through various different stages. And if you happen to wake up, if you are in that bad habit of waking up to alarm, then you are really disturbing that cycle. Because when your sleep is in the 4th or 5th stage of that cycle, you should not be disturbed, you should not get up. Because then you feel really groggy and your body is really getting down. No matter what you eat, no matter how many coffees you take, it takes really 2-3 hours to get back to the world and feel, okay, I'm here. It has happened to me countless number of times, and to my friends, the professionals that I know, and probably it happens with you too. If there is a problem, then you have to look into your sleep cycles. You really have to understand that. It's very easy, it's not rocket science, 2 pages of article, read about that and try to follow that. It won't happen overnight, it'll take a week's time, to really get a hang of it, and then you can get going with it. Alright? Renewal of energy is nothing but taking breaks. Now, when it comes to breaks, people have a problem. They think break is about doing another activity, which is the worst part of it, really. When your mind is focused into something, when you're doing something constantly, switching over to another task, whatever it is, like drinking tea or smoking or talking, or doing something, somewhere, or watching, something on the screen or playing a game, is not a break. It is another activity your mind is going to, and that's not going to help. This is not how you should take a break. A break does not have to be 15 minutes. It can just be 5 minutes. But what I call it is empty break. It has to be empty break, which means always schedule your work for 1 hour. It's 55 minutes, exactly 55 minutes you work, and then take 5 minutes of empty break, which means you're not doing anything. You may drink a glass of water, that's fine, but nothing else. Don't talk to anybody. Put your phone in silent mode, not even in vibration mode, silent mode, and go towards a window or somewhere, where there is no one to disturb you. Just breathe in and breathe out. Just watch. Just relax and let it unwind. Let it be free. 5 minutes. Initially it may sound like a little boring thing, and then it's a dead thing, and then you're like, what am I doing here? But then slowly you get adjusted after 2 or 3 days. You need to do this, and when you come back to your work or whatever project you were on, trust me, you'll be sharper than before, and with the same energy you will move in and do things more effectively. Alright my friends, you see my schedule here on the screen, which essentially starts from 6 o'clock in the morning until 12 o'clock in the night. I keep it that way, and I'm very much used to it. I don't get up groggy or feeling tired or something. And the moment I get up, my day starts without any problem. I want you to practice the same. What you do in between is your business, but then as far as sleep is concerned, remember, sleep is not the length to which you sleep. It is about the quality in which you sleep. In 6 hours, if you slept like a baby, then your body is more happy than if you sleep for 10, 12 hours, not really well. So as you see here, from 6 to 8, I go with my morning rituals and take some tea. It's important that you take first bite when you get up. And then my fitness, a bit of stretching. It's not really the major fitness that is there. One of these things that I do, yoga or swim, something like that, not all of them. Then I go over to my usual work. For 1 hour, 8 to 9, I look into my planning, or I use the time for traveling to different offices or corporations that I have to. Then if I'm not traveling, then I do my recording from 9 to 9, 45 minutes, that is. Whatever recording, video, audio, something that's related to my work. And then I take a break. I actually eat 2 meals a day, and I might or may not take a snack in between the day, but 2 meals is what I stick with, and I think that's a very healthy way to go about. Gives you a lot of energy and digests very well and keeps your system up and running all the time. So that's the time I spend, 45 minutes for my first meal, and then I come back for my mainstream work that starts from 10:30, like we discussed. From 10:30 until 12:30, 12:20, the mainstream work goes with 5 minutes of break. In the second mainstream work, I take a black coffee, which I really like, and I take 10 minutes of time for that. And then from 12:30 to 1 o'clock, half an hour, I use it for essential bits, like we discussed, taking notes, or preparing paperwork, or collecting this and that, or catching with someone for some news and discussion, whatever it is. And then I may or may not take a snack break, and then I get back to essential bits again for 45 minutes. Anyway, so until 2 o'clock, I spend my time in the essential bits, planning, reviewing, writing, whatever I need to get ready with. And then I go for a power nap of 15 minutes like we discussed. And then I come back at 2 o'clock exactly. From there, I get back to my mainstream work with 5 minutes break at the end, empty break. And then I continue with my mainstream, go for a black coffee again for 10 minutes. This gives me a correct boost of energy at that time of the day. Then from 4 to 4:55, I go into reviewing and wrapping up the mainstream work and whatever bits need to be done, or last minute phone calls or documentation, emails, whatever it is. I get done with that, and then I take a 5-minute empty break wherein I'm not thinking anything, I'm not discussing with anyone, I'm not writing, reading, nothing, just looking outside the window and breathing in and taking that space. That's all. And that's where my usual day ends if there are no meetings, or if there are no appointments, commitments that I have. Like I said, I don't religiously stick to the schedule. You don't have to, but this is a good thing to have a schedule like that, which gives you a boost to go ahead and become as productive as you can. And then from 5 o'clock until 7:30 in the evening, it's time for my fitness and recreation. If I'm going to the gym, or playing a sport, or whatever it is, the main thing about fitness is not what you do. It doesn't matter if you don't like yoga, it doesn't matter if you don't like to play a sport, and you don't really have to become a bodybuilder in the gym. What matters is what your body likes and enjoys the most. That is the point. And that has to make you sweat enough. If you sweat enough, then it's a good fitness regime that you have for yourself. And then after that, I go for my second meal. And after the second meal of the day is done, I'm done with my day. I'm not going to eat anymore anytime. From 8:30 to 11, I do one of my hobbies. It could be learning a language, or it could be family time, or whatever it is, painting, or playing an indoor game I'm talking about, or watching a movie. I usually like to watch positive and constructive movies that give us a very good positive energy and makes us learn a little bit. And then after 11 to 12, I don't do anything. I try to relax, recap, and slowly prepare myself to sleep. It's important that you don't sleep quickly. You have to slowly prepare yourself, wind out, relax, breathe in, and slowly and nicely you go to bed, 12, and get up. This will help you get up at 6 o'clock sharp, exactly. Anyway, this needs practice. I won't say again overnight. It takes about a week's time, and after that you'll be really fine.